think it's pretty pertinent the fact that we've recently had the Greece example quite a lot in the news, and I think that illustrates kind of what we're really getting to at the core. Like, people won't be happy if the status quo stays the same. People won't be happy 20 years down the track when the reality kicks in and all their public services get slashed. They'll be out rioting in the streets then. But what we think is that, like, of course it's not going to be the most politically palatable solution, but what we're saying is that a solution is needed now to stop that in the future. And I think especially the current time to do that is now, obviously because of world trends, because of the repercussions of the financial crisis, making people realise that there are consequences in the financial sense for what we do now and the way we structure ourselves in the future. So while we agree that it is politically unpalatable, we think that by emphasising the fact that this isn't a sustainable position, by emphasising the fact that what we're actually doing isn't specifically targeting anyone, and everybody's going to carry an equal share of that burden. So 20 years down the track, you won't be even more upset. It will probably be the best strategy to try and push these things.
So soon as starts looking back.
Yes, because you either suffer a lot later to try and stem the problem, or you suffer a little bit now, so we can fix the problem, and in the future you'll be feeling a lot better.
Your educational policy suggests that students will be paying, on the whole, $10,000 less for their does that take into account the interest that they'll be paying on such high principal loans?
We're keeping the interest-free student loans in New Zealand under the current policy. So once they leave New Zealand, they then have to start paying interest. So that's an additional incentive to leave, because the loan is so much bigger now than it was initially. But there was an additional interest.
Your currency policy also is going to favour exporters. You want to decrease, which everybody else in New Zealand is going to suffer the pain from that. How are you going to stay in power?
Well, our policy is specifically targeting at not necessarily keeping it extremely low to just benefit exporters, but what we want to do is find a happy medium and keep it at that medium, because what we see is really real damaging is not the fact that the currency rate is too high or too low, it's the fact that it jumps and it's so volatile, because we think that's very detrimental from many people's perspectives. First of all, from investors' perspectives, because they can't plan or forecast what sort of returns they're going to get on their investments in the New Zealand economy. And also, it's negative for both people importing into New Zealand, because they don't know what their costs are going to be 5 months down the track.
Thank you, that's time.